Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Baba Shrivaradhari Gopi Chanda Baba Shrivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Chanda Ballabha Shrivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Bandachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Guru Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading today from the Srimad-bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 9, text 22 to 24, I believe. This is 22 that we'll chant right now. Te payanta samayam asura swakritam nripa tushnim asankrita sneha Sri Vidara Juvupasaya Te Pavayanta Samayam Asura Swakritam Nripa Tushnim asankrita sneha Strivivada jugupsaya Te palayanta samayan Asura swakritam ripa Tushnim asankrita sneha Strivivada jagupsaya Te palayanta samayam Asura swakritam ripa Tushnim asankrita sneha Strivivada jagupsaya Te palayanta samayam Asura swakritam ripa Tushnim asankrita sneha Strivivada jagupsaya Word for word synonyms. Te, the demons. Halayanta, keeping in order. Samayam, equilibrium. Asuraha, the demons. Swakritam, made by them. Nripa, O king. Tushnim asan, remained silent. Krita sneha, because of having developed attachment to Mohini Murti. Strivivada, disagreeing with a woman. Jagupsaya, because of thinking such an action as abominable. Let's see. O king, since the demons had promised to accept whatever the woman did, whether just or unjust, now to keep this promise, to show their equilibrium, and to save themselves from fighting with a woman, they remained silent. Repeat after me. Sorry, no translations today. O king, since the demons had promised to accept whatever the woman did, whether just or unjust, now to keep this promise, to show their equilibrium, and to save themselves from fighting with a woman, they remained silent. So there's no purport on that verse. So I'll read the next one. The demons had developed affection for Mohini Murti and a kind of faith in her, and they were afraid of disturbing their relationship. Therefore, they showed respect and honor to her words and did not say anything that might disturb their friendship with her. Purport. Remember, purport will explain. The demons were so captivated by the tricks and friendly words of Mohini Murti that although the demigods were served first, talking about the nectar, the demigods were served first, the demons were pacified merely by sweet words. The Lord said to the demons, quote, the demigods are very miserly and are excessively anxious to take the nectar first. So let them take it first, since you are not like them, and you can wait a little since you are not like them, you can wait a little longer. You are all heroes and are so pleased with me, it is better for you to wait until the demigods drink. That's in the purport. So, look at the situation. So, so Mohini Murti had convinced the demons to give her the pot of nectar, because even amongst themselves they were fighting which one of us demons are going to get this first. So she came, and they felt very attracted to her, and she spoke very nicely, and she convinced them to let her hold the nectar, and she would decide how it would be distributed. And then she separated the demons here, the demigods over here, and then she went and spoke with the demons, and said, because these demigods over here, they're greedy, they're anxious, they're very much wanting to take this first. There's so much anxiety about getting this nectar like this. So let me just give it to them first, so they'll be peaceful. And you demons, you're all very nice people. You're very heroes. You're very high class, cultured people like that. And so you won't mind waiting just a little bit longer, and let the demigods, who are not so advanced as you, to enjoy the nectar first, and then I'll bring it back to you. So she's saying like that. But of course, we already know that her purpose was to give to the demigods and to not give to the demons. But the demons don't want to say anything, because they already have a friendly relationship with her, and they don't want to speak anything, which is will disturb that relationship. So that's what Srila Prabhupada is saying here. Let's read the next verse and the purport, and we'll talk a little bit more. Rahu, but not all the demons agreed. Rahu, the demon who causes eclipses of the sun and the moon, covered himself with the dress of a demigod, and thus entered the assembly of the demigods, and drank nectar without being detected by anyone, even by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The moon and the sun, however, because of permanent animosity toward Rahu, understood the situation. Thus Rahu was detected. So one of the demons is named Rahu. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, Rahu's demon. The sun is not a demon. I'll only read the purport and then I'll explain. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mohini Murti, was able to bewilder all the demons, but Rahu was so clever that he was not bewildered. Rahu could understand that Mohini Murti was cheating the demons, and therefore he changed his dress, disguised himself as a demigod, and sat down in the assembly of the demigods. Here one may ask why the Supreme Personality of Godhead could not detect Rahu. Good question. The reason is that the Lord wanted to show the effect of drinking nectar. This will be revealed in the following verses. The moon and sun, however, were always alert in regard to Rahu. Thus, when Rahu entered the assembly of the demigods, the moon and sun immediately detected him, and then the Supreme Personality of Godhead also became aware of him. Oh my God, so, yes, it's Rahu. He's always he's an enemy of the demigods, especially of the sun and the moon. He's always trying to see how to prevent the sun, block the sun's sunshine, and block the moon. So the sun, it says the sun and the moon. It means the demigod in charge of the sun, that would be Vivaswan, and in charge of the moon would be Chandra. So they both know Rahu very well. So they saw what he was doing. They understood what he was doing, that he snuck in there, sat down in the line with the demigods, and he was waiting for it, and he got his chance to drink some nectar. But Rahu is Rahu's going to lose his head because Lord Vishnu is going to cut off his head when he realizes, he sees what he's doing. But Rahu had already, I think it would be the next verse. Let me just read the next verse because I'm already talking about it. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, using his disc, his Sudarshan Chakra disc, which was sharp like a razor, at once cut off Rahu's head. When Rahu's head was severed from his body, the body, being untouched by the nectar, could not survive. Purport. When the personality of Godhead, Mohini Murti, severed Rahu's head from his body, the head remained alive, although the body died. Rahu had been drinking nectar through his mouth, and therefore the nectar entered his body. Therefore, and before the nectar entered his body, his head was cut off. Thus Rahu's head remained alive, whereas the body died. This wonderful act performed by the Lord was meant to show that nectar is a miraculous ambrosia. Ambrosia, it's a very special substance which is only available in the higher planets. So Rahu's head was cut off. So his head, nectar going here, went down here, but then off with his head. So the body of Rahu died. This Lord Vishnu, remember, Lord Vishnu is here. Because there's Lord Vishnu, he was with the demigods, and he also expanded himself as the Mohini Murti incarnation. So Lord Vishnu is watching this, and Srila Prabhupada says, he wanted to demonstrate the actual effect of this nectar. And so he allowed Rahu to drink, but then he cut off his head. So Rahu's head, we don't see this in modern times, but these things happen and we can learn about these things in Srimad-bhagavatam. So Rahu's head remained alive because of the nectar had gone in, but his body had never actually got the nectar. It's gone. Okay, and this Rahu remains always trying to block the sun and the moon, the light of the sun and the light of the moon. Tashishigonetai, Shishiradha, Vrachabihari, Jagannath, Balaram, Medishabadu, and Shigane, Palad Miraj, Ki Jai. Okay, so Rahu, Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the Rahu that causes eclipses of the sun and the moon. You understand the eclipse? Okay, so eclipse means when something comes in front of the sun or something comes in front of the moon and blocks it. So, but an interesting thing, which is not, I don't know if it's described in this chapter, but elsewhere in the Srimad-bhagavatam is described, the actual cause of eclipses, according to Vedic astronomy, is not that like a solar eclipse when the sun gets covered. Modern science assumes that it is the moon going in front of the sun, but actually it's not the moon going in front of the sun, because the moon is actually farther away from us than the sun is, according to Vedic Srimad-bhagavatam. Right. Okay. So Rahu appears as the head is there. It appears like a dark planet. Dark planet means that it does not reflect light. So if something there's no reflection, then you don't see it. It's just like it's not there. It's just dark. It does not reflect light. So eclipse means Rahu comes in front of the sun and is blocking the sunlight. That's actually true. So, and the moon, which modern science says moon is actually going in front of the sun, but in reality the moon is much farther away from us than the sun is. The moon is farther away. The moon is a greater distance from Earth than the sun. So when Rahu goes in front of the sun, the moon is going behind, but you cannot tell the difference. It looks like we're thinking the moon is blocking it. Actually, it's Rahu blocking. Anyway, like that. So, but that's so Rahu to this day, on certain scheduled times, he's coming and blocking the sun and so on. And then And of course, we can these um, these verses and purports here. It's also showing that we need our intelligence, our intelligence that guides what we should do in life and how we should act should it should be based um, on Krishna. It should be based on Vedic knowledge. So the demons, of course, do not accept these things. So when they very easily accepted the cheating words of the Mohini Murti. They accepted her cheating words. She was cheating them, and they were so proud that we are very important and aristocratic people here. So we will show a good example, and we will not object. But she was actually cheating them. Only Rahu, who just said, no, I'm being cheated, and I'm not going to accept this. So he tried to he tried to get the nectar anyway, because he realized he was going to not get nectar. But anyway, he was caught. So this is the point here. The demons were captivated by Mohini Murti because of their material attachment, material desires. But if we want in the practice of Krishna consciousness, we need to make our intelligence strong. We need to make our intelligence strong, and intelligence means the definition of intelligence is the ability to analyze a situation in proper perspective. Analyze a situation in proper perspective. And that means on the basis that actual knowledge. So knowledge, what is knowledge? Knowledge means to understand what is material, what is spiritual, and understand that Krishna is the controller of everything, material and spiritual. Make sense? Understand? Sorry. Yes. So, are you understanding? I know. Sorry, no translation. It's so difficult. Let's try. We get spiritual benefit by even trying to hear and understand the philosophy. So in Krishna consciousness, we are taught that we're not the material body, we're a spirit soul, that Krishna is the supreme controller of everything. This is part of our life. So that is knowledge. And so our intelligence should be saying, every situation in life, is this helpful for me to become Krishna conscious, or is this something I want to do? Is it favorable or unfavorable for me to become Krishna conscious? And that's what the intelligence should be thinking. Generally, even people who are considered very intelligent, big material education, so on, their intelligence is not, they're not using their intelligence properly, because they're thinking what is right and what is wrong based on material calculation. But a Krishna conscious devotee should be thinking always what is right, what is wrong. Or you think, what is Krishna saying? What does Krishna say that is right? Or what does he say is wrong? How should I act based on what Lord Krishna says? That is using our intelligence, and that is good intelligence. We analyze what is right and what is wrong, and how should I do things based on what is pleasing to Lord Krishna. And we understand what is pleasing to Lord Krishna based on the scriptures, based on the knowledge we get from Srila Prabhupada, based on the knowledge we get from those who are representing Srila Prabhupada, like that. And that is how we understand what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. Are there any questions? I know there's questions. I know there's questions because you have a hard time understanding me. But we have a few minutes. Can I explain something better? Nothing? Yeah, Rahu. Speak into the microphone so others can hear. Rahu is one planet. Only one. In astrology, they talk about Ketu, but there's no physical thing that's Ketu. Maybe somehow it works into astrology, and I do not understand astrology. So, but yes, there's one planet called Rahu.
Rahu. Rahu, moon, and sun.
No. Rahu, sun, and moon.
Ah.
Yeah, moon is farther. Moon is let's see, the Earth, from the Earth, the sun is what scientists say pretty much 93 million miles, I think. Right? The moon is I forget, either 800,000 miles or 1,600,000 miles. I forget right off, but it's farther away. Yes, and the Srimad-bhagavatam describes the moon as actually larger than the sun, but it's farther away, so it looks similar. Yes, and Rahu blocks the sun sometimes. It's called an eclipse, and it's best not to be. I know recently, a few months ago, there was a big eclipse somewhere, a solar eclipse, and everyone's coming out to watch. But it's best not to be outside during this. It's not really an auspicious time. Here's this demon trying to block the sun. So best thing is we stay inside and we chant Hare Krishna, protect ourselves, because it's being blocked by a big demon. And of course, if you talk to most people about these subjects, they say, they think they were crazy because everyone knows the sun is bigger and farther away, but no, Vedas say it is closer. The sun is closer and the moon is farther. So we, practicing Krishna consciousness, should try to develop that faith in what the Vedas say. In fact, how advanced someone is on the spiritual path is based largely on how much faith that person has in the words of the Vedas. Ultimately, the Vedas teach that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and the goal of life is to surrender to Him. So, if we have 100% faith in the in the words of the Vedas, then we are a pure devotee of Krishna. If we have very, very little faith, then we are very, very little faith. We are a third-class devotee. And if we have strong faith, then we are a second-class devotee. And if we have complete faith, then we are a first-class devotee. So it's all based on faith. And if you hear these things that we're reading here, and you say, I'm not so sure. Well, you have to associate with those who have firm faith in it. That way we also develop faith in the scripture. Understand? Little. Yes. I can't hear. Living. It's living. Yes. Yes.
Why is this so?
Huh?
Is planet traveling living devil?
I don't know if there's anyone living on it. I don't know, actually. Sorry. but Rahu is very he's yes, living and constantly trying to block the sun and the moon. So that's why there's at scheduled times there's a eclipse. This is everything is scheduled. Everything in the universe has order. It's like the sun comes and goes exactly the same every day. So Rahu also has his the movements.
Why don't you see this planet?
Because it is a dark planet. It is just like if you have a mirror, and you put it in light. A mirror reflects light, so you can have a mirror hundreds of miles away, a big mirror. Light flashes, shines on it, and we see it because it's reflecting the light. But if you have a dark something far away, and there's no reflection of light, then there's no you will not see it, because we see the light. To see something, just like in a room. If you have a room that's almost dark, and you put a mirror there, you might still see. If there's a little bit of light, you'll see it. But if you have a room that is dark and you have a black, you have something black in a black room, dark room, you cannot see it because it does not reflect any light. So that's Rahu is like that. He's dark, the dark planet. The moon is very reflective, so you see it's always so much light. The sun, of course, is very bright.
Moon is light?
Life everywhere.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. There's Yes, yes. It's probably subtle material body. Probably according to the planet that one lives on, then the material bodies are vary. Just like on the sun, if I went to the sun like this, I wouldn't get near the sun. I would be I'd be cooked, fried. I'd be fried by the sun before I ever got near. But there's life and civilization on the sun is a heavenly planet, but the bodies of the people are primarily fire. This body, if I put it in fire, gets destroyed. But fire, there are different material elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then mind, intelligence, and false ego. The eight kinds of elements. So earth and water. This body is mostly earth and water. Mostly water, actually. Earth, water. Fire is another element. On the sun, the bodies are mostly fire, but the fire can have form, and the soul can live anywhere. Huh?
Fire.
Yes, a fire body. So it doesn't burn up because it's fire. So the sun has the sun has fire, and the soul cannot be burnt by fire or withered by wind or anything. The soul cannot be affected by any of this. The soul is like transcendental. So the soul can be there in the earth, on the sun, or on the moon, or on any other planet. On this planet, the soul needs to be in a body that's earth and water, like that, primarily. On another planet, the body has to be fiery. Another body, it has to be like some subtle material element. But there's life everywhere, and the soul can go anywhere.
Why don't you see the moon when it being telescope?
Why don't we see the moon?
Moon, here where we see the moon.
I'm not understanding. Why?
Yes, with telescope.
Yeah.
And this telescope when you see nothing, no light,
Oh.
one picture.
Yes, because the everything on the moon is more subtle. Just like the mind is a material element. You cannot see the mind. Intelligence is a material element. You cannot see the intelligence, but it's there. But if you have a body made of those elements, then you can see. So everyone thinks that there's no life on the moon, but it's a very high elevated, it's a heavenly planet. So is the sun. But the life, the forms of life are not are not on this planet. They are not like they are on this planet. This is it's a different material elements. There's life on Mars too. They're actually Martians, but they have, I don't know what form they have, but there's every planet is there because there is life. Every planet. Yeah, you have the bodies are different. The bodies are different, and we looking at from telescopes from millions of miles away, we can't actually see properly. But if you were there, so if you want to go to the moon or the sun or Mars or Venus, and actually live there, then you have to change your material body. You worship the demigods. The Vedas tell how to do these things, and you can actually go there. The soul goes there and takes that kind of material body there. Yes, but we don't want to go to the moon or the sun or Mars or Venus, which I don't want to. I want to go back to Krishna Loka, because heavenly planets mean you stay there for some time, then you have to come back down again. Spiritual world means you go there, no more birth, no more death, no more disease, no more old age, like that. So that should be our goal. We've already been, we don't remember, but we've already been up and down millions and trillions of times in the past, and we're still not happy. So let's go to Krishna Loka, then we will be happy. No comments today. I think I'm over time. So I think we have to stop. We have to stop now for today. Sorry, I don't know Russian or. Oh. Okay. Well, for you, I'm sorry, I don't know Russian. I will try to learn Russian, and you try to learn English. But even if you do not understand the words, to stay here and listen and try to understand, you get a lot of spiritual benefit, because you're trying to understand Krishna. Even I went once to in India. I stayed in one temple for 3 weeks. The devotees only spoke Hindi. I don't speak Hindi. So I went there. They spoke Hindi. Classes were in Hindi. But I sat there in class every day and listened to the class. I didn't understand much, but I was listening very carefully. And at the end of the class, I felt good. I felt, I couldn't repeat much of what was said because the language, but because I knew that because I was there and I was making the endeavor, I was trying to understand, I was listening really hard, I knew I was getting good spiritual benefit by trying to hear it. And if I had stayed there for a long time, I would probably start learning the language too. So yes, we should listen every day for the class. Even Srila Prabhupada said when he would lecture in India, sometimes he would lecture in Hindi or in Bengali, and the devotees that were American devotees that traveled with him, he said, "Stay for my class, even if I'm speaking Hindi. Just stay and listen. It'll be beneficial for you." It's like that. Okay, I better stop here before we get in problems. But tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow we read Srila Prabhupada Nectar book. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah.